So you weren't asked to join the MIS. You were just.
I was directed, ordered. You know, we had a morning call, and they said they read the orders that you are here. These following personnel are hereby transferred to Camp Savage in Minnesota to the Military Intelligence Service. And 3 of us left there in August after the basic training and ended up in Minnesota.
So what did you think of Minnesota?
Minnesota was beautiful. The people were very friendly, and we had occasions to go into town. Camp Savage was about 45 miles out of Minneapolis, and in the country. It used to be an old man's home, which was converted to a military camp, and that's where we stayed. And on weekends, we were permitted to go into town and participating in all the activities that a normal GI would do.
I'm just making a simple question for the audience that doesn't know, what kind of training do they do at Camp Savage?
Camp Savage, the training consisted of classroom activities. It's a compulsory class from 8 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. That's compulsory. You start class at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you ended at 12 o'clock, break for lunch, and 1 o'clock reconvene in the classroom. You break at 5, and then at 7 you go back to the classroom until 9 o'clock. These hours were compulsory, and we learned everything from Japanese geography, from Japanese military organization, Japanese language, Japanese grammar, just about anything to do with Japanese. And we were encouraged very much to converse in Japanese even during our off hours while going to school. And that continued for 6 months. And at the end, of course, they taught us, they had shipped some captured documents from the front lines to give us an idea as to how these documents looked like. We would be given few pages to look over and see and translate a few of those, and we had simulated situation whereby the instructor acted as a prisoner, and you had to interrogate him to get certain type of information that you were looking for. And we did just about all of those things. It was no easy duty for 6 months. We had people had nervous breakdown as a result, because even after 9 o'clock, a lot of people went to the community latrine and sat on a bowl and started with the lights on because it stayed on all night. And I know a couple of boys, fellas that I went to school with there had a nervous breakdown.
Did you feel going into that you already had a substantial knowledge of Japanese?
No, I never did. You know, a lot of people ask me that because of my stay in Japan for 4 years before when I was a youngster. But by the time I came back and joined volunteered for the Army, I could hardly speak Japanese. And once I got started, I got so interested in the language that I studied very hard. And at the graduation ceremony, I was chosen as one of the most progressive students in our graduating class, which had about 123, I think, in that class.